Hey, what's going on? What's going on, man? Let me turn that down. We came in a little bit too hot. We came in just a little bit too hot right now, but y'all already know what it is. It's TK the Poet. You already know it, so you ain't got to quote it. And if I spoke it, you already know what that means. Y'all wrote it. Look, I got the Poetry Life. Look, y'all can't see it because my camera too low, but we got the Poetry Life merch. We all the goats of poetry. Check out the merch. Website is coming soon. PoetryLifeLeague.com and the pen6.com. Hey, it's gonna be live. We're gonna rock out, man. But today, we got a special guest in the building. I'm gonna bring him up, but before I bring up my special guest for the night, I gotta tell y'all about Poetry Life League real quick. We got Poetry Life League, man. It's ready. It's coming, July 12th. It's right around the corner. We're gonna have our draft this Saturday at 7 o'clock. Tune in for that on Poetry Life League. Yes, go to YouTube. We only got 5 subscribers. Now, look, let me talk to y'all real quick. I have to talk to y'all right quick. Yes, I made a YouTube channel. It's a new YouTube channel, Poetry Life League. But, come on, what's going on? I only got 5 subscribers. Come on, man. It ain't making sense right now. So, what y'all do right now, I want y'all to stop what y'all doing. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, Poetry Life League. Hey, it's going to be lit for the poets, man. So, but I got a little video I'm gonna show y'all too later on in the show about the draft. Hey, we got the draft coming. Here's the 4 teams that we have. We have Bold Words. We have Diagnosis. We have the Red Dragons. And last but not least, we have the Living Legends. Hey, it's going down. Poetry Life League. Y'all ain't never seen anything like this ever in poetry. This is the first league that ever happened in poetry where poets going against each other. And it's look, it is a competition, but it's about the art. We're not talking down. This is not battle rap. You're not tearing down your opponent. You lifting up, this is about the art. So, y'all tune in and stay plugged in with Poetry Life League. But like I said, y'all, this is not what we're here for. We're here to bring up Big Mond from Little Rock, Arkansas, man. Big Mond from Little Rock, Arkansas. Let me pull you up one time real quick, man.
What's up? What's up? How y'all doing?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, man, I'm glad that you're on the show, man. It's your first time, but let me go ahead and put these little look at the bottom of your screen, man. Look, hey, Poetry Life League member, Big Mond, number 72. Hey, man, look on his Facebook, Shamon Johnson. Hey, y'all check him out. Follow him. Man, if he got anything going on, check him out because he is fire. But look, I'm going to let you go ahead and talk, man. Tell the people who you are and where they can find you and what you do real quick.
Well, what's up, man? First off, it's an honor to be here. I appreciate the opportunity, and my name is Shamon Johnson. I'm originally from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, but I do most of my work and I live in Little Rock, Arkansas. You can find me on Facebook, Shamon Johnson, SHAMOND Johnson. Instagram, you can find me at big_Mond24. And also, Big Mond has his own poetry show that he hosts every Saturday called Who Gonna Drop the Mic? And you can find that on Instagram, WGDTM25. And come rock with me, man. But yeah, I'm a poet from Pine Bluff, but I do most of my work in Little Rock. I done slammed in competition, special performances, features, and now running my own poetry show, man. So, just keep climbing the ladders, man. Keep climbing the ladders.
Look, it's all about elevation, man. It's all about elevation. Just continuing to go in poetry. So while we have you here, let's get into how did poetry find you real quick.
So poetry found me in in a forceful way. So I started off. I grew up around a lot of people that rap. My brothers, they had a studio and my mom's crib, and so my crib became the little kicking spot where people record their music. Their homeboys would come perform and everything, and so listening to them and seeing them so much, I started rapping. I was barely able to speak, but I was rapping at like 3-4 years old. They put me a
Mm.
song on a song at like 4 years old. It was crazy. It was a song called "Don't Say Hey," and yeah, like and so
Look,
as time went on, just seeing them rap and stuff, and I started getting into it. I started doing little freestyles and all this stuff, and I got to a point in life where some stuff happened, and when tragic moments come about, it changes your mindset. And so when the situation happened, I was like, well, I didn't want to continue rapping about this stuff being in my age. I was young and talking about grown folk stuff. And
right.
I want to find a better way to let my words out. And in school, I was good at English. I can write like essays and all
Mhm.
that stuff. I was good at it. And my teacher used to always be on me. But she was like, you can write. You don't got good penmanship though. You can't literally
Right.
write it. And so she
Mm.
just made me type my essays and stuff out. And she was like, you powerful, you can write. And started getting active in church. I was real quiet and to myself and shy. And
Mm.
our church started forcing me to like it was like do words of wisdom, words of encouragement. And first time I did it, messed up completely. I was just talking about Santa Claus in the Christian church. That don't
Right.
go right.
Right. Right.
You know. After that, they just kept getting me up there, and I started writing my own stuff and just started, getting used to it, and went from there. Got called. I moved to Little Rock around 2022, I think, and I had my first show. I was a joke. I was supporting my homeboy, and he was
Right.
like, "Man, they're looking for more artists." I was like, "Man, I want to spit some poetry. I want to do some real life
Right.
poetry." Because
Right.
I did Christian poetry mainly, and then he got me booked at a show, my first feature, and got with them, performed. They loved it. Got called out
So
to
let's talk about that. Let's put a pause to that. Let's talk about that right there. Your first time. So how was that feeling? Like you get up on the stage, going in front of people, and the people just sitting there looking at you, just like, okay, what are you gonna say? How was that experience for you?
with that experience, bro. I'm gonna be honest. So like, I'm gonna try to watch my words when I say this, but like the show that I performed at, it was like all talents, but the main host he did like stuff for the LGBTQ community and stuff like that. So it was different being a different artist and then coming in doing something like that. And
Mhm.
it was a love show. So it was the theme was love. And I remember walking in because I was trying to prep for my I drove from Palm Bluff to Little Rock, and I was prepping for it and everything. And I remember when I walked in to meet the host saw me, walked up to me, and we shook hands. And he was just like, "Dude, you smell good." Like I was like, "Thank you." Like so, walking in, I'm nervous, because and I had a few friends with me to support, but just seeing everybody was cool, calm, and collective. And I remember when I was being introduced, because I was just going by my real name, Shimon, and I was just being introduced, and it's just like my heart just like dropped down, because like
Mhm.
it's real. I'm gonna go perform,
Right. Right.
And so I was just like, man, let's do this. And so he gave me an introduction. He was like, this is his first time, so give him all the energy and love he need. And I was like, also when he walked by, you smell him, sniff him, because he smelled great. And so, and this is what happened. I literally walked from my seat, walked around to get on stage, and a woman literally was like, he does smell good. Like everybody just got happy. It was
Look,
so
look.
funny. But
But
yeah,
man,
man.
like my first time being on the stage, it was at church. I used to rap, and this dude came up to me, like, man, what you thought about doing poetry? I'm like, poetry? That's for suckers. I ain't doing no poetry. He like, man, you'll make a good poet. And he told me to do a church poem. And at that time, I was thugging in the streets. I wasn't like, and I said, you want me to write a church poem? I said, these people gonna listen to me say a church poem? And they like, yeah, go ahead, and write a church poem, and you can recite it at my church. I'm like, all right. So, I did it and I got a standing ovation. But some of the stuff I was saying there, I'm like, yeah, y'all gonna rock with that. But it was like those butterflies in your stomach. Like, so when you was on stage, did you get any nervous or any anxiety or anything like that?
No, she nervous. So the thing with me, when I perform to this day, I start sweating. That's
Mm,
my nervous thing. And it's crazy because I can present and perform it damn
mm-hmm,
good. It just I start sweating and people can see it. And
mm,
yeah, I was nervous in the mud. Also because the poem that I did, it was called Love, but it was to Gideon Garden Kisses.
mm.
It was made of, that song playing in the back of it. And it was cool, but yeah, I was terrified at the moment. But hey, I'm on stage, so I gotta perform now. But yeah, most definitely, man. I feel like
How did
every
so
I'm
look?
listening.
How did you get your writing style or your creativity? Like, where did that come from?
With me, like I said, I was good at like English and stuff, so I enjoy writing stories. I love writing stories. I love like having like I write in a skit form.
Okay.
So with my poetry, I try to write stuff for you to relate to and you can
Mm,
visualize. So
okay.
that came from just watching a lot of shows and stuff like that and always having a vision of acting and doing creating, drama, like reading scripts and
Right.
stuff like that.
So,
And
so in your poetry, you're like, can you say animated, or you got some character in your poetry?
most definitely. So with how I write now, well, when I start really getting into poetry on a real life situation, I tell people that I write for the crowd. I'm the voice of
Hmm.
the crowd. So I write on topics or I write in ways of if the crowd is uncomfortable saying it, Big Mung will be the voice to say it, so you will know
Hmm.
that somebody can relate to you.
Right,
And so
right.
yeah, and then when I do like my love poems and stuff like that, I kind of write it for the women to be comfortable and like, man, I can picture that, like I can visualize that. So yeah,
So, are
I
you
make sure
transparent? Are you transparent in your poetry?
most definitely, and I feel like
So,
that's why I get a,
so how important is you being transparent in your poetry?
it's very important to me because I feel like that's how I can connect with the crowd, and
Mm.
also the crowd can actually be more comfortable with me as a poet. Um, so yeah, I take that very serious when I write.
Okay, so it's like you're more like an open book.
Yeah, I try to be, because I feel like with poetry, that's what you're doing. You being an open person. Poetry. I feel like that's the only thing you really can do, and you can
Mm.
be open and like versatile with no limits. Unless it's it got rules, but that's what
Right, right.
poetry is. It's just you venting out on paper or your phone or whatever. You just find a ways to vent out however you feel.
So you said you did music before, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what is the difference between writing a song and writing poetry?
Um, I'm gonna be honest. It's it's not a major difference because you still like putting words together, but with
Mhm,
writing music in your mind, you going off a tempo, you going off a rhythm. With poetry,
mhm,
you got the chance to do it however you want to do it. You can,
mhm.
go on a slow tempo. You
Right.
can do on some battle rapping stuff where you got major punchlines, and you can do the
Mhm.
same with music. But with music, it's more challenging because you got to go off a rhythm no matter what. But poetry, you literally can just speak and boom, you wrote a poem. You got a poem out.
So I
So
mean,
yeah,
let me ask you this question: like, so when I tell people I'm a poet, they look at me like, You a poet. What are some of the reactions do you get when you tell people that you're a poet?
Man, be honest with you, most times it's a happy reaction. Sometimes it's a confusion reaction because a lot of people don't actually know the breakdown of what like poetry is. And so, you had a moments like, you a poet, you think you better than me? Like what? Like so,
But you
but
know what
some
though?
people
They put poets on like when people say they a poet, like oh they think like oh you're a great wordsmith, you smart, you intelligent and stuff like that. But on the cool, ain't too many people that can do. Look, we one of ones, for real. So
and that's the
I
thing.
go ahead.
My bad, but no, that's the thing, people they don't understand. I feel like a lot of people starting to understand like how cool and how much respect poets have because of they telling them what they got to go through to make you know this poem sound good or this poem relatable. A lot of people don't understand like the words that comes with it and like the stuff that comes behind it, and so that's why I say a lot of people they be happy and enjoy it because there's not so many poets like out here like that for real.
Mhm.
But some people still trying to understand what poetry really is. So yeah.
So like I have a couple of buddies that's in the industry, and they would always tell me like poetry cool, but we don't look at it as entertainment in the hip hop culture. It's not that much entertainment into it, no shock value or But I'm like, but y'all listen to rap. Rap stands for rhythm and poetry, so it's like for y'all to say poets are not entertaining or stuff like that, like what are we doing here? So my question is to you, how do you think that we can put poetry on a higher platform with these rap artists and R&B and all these other celebrities out there?
Um, I feel like doing what you are doing and that's building a community forward so people can actually understand and hear our words and stuff and then switch it up. Like even with me, I try to perform on instrumentals and stuff like that. And like I said, I try to be the voice of the crowd. So I try to hit on topics that I know a lot of people not wanting to talk about it, but it's real life situations. So like my most known poem is called CT. And it's about kitchen STD. A lot of people not willing to talk about that, but when you listen to you like, dang, it's real life. So that's why
So
I feel like
let's put a pork mark. Do you know that poem by heart?
yes, I do. I actually know about heart. Only thing is, it has like sexual content in it. But yeah, that's my top known poem in Little Rock. It's CT.
Man, look, I gotta hear it, man. Do you mind spitting it? Like, look, this is a free zone, man. Look, do what you need,
Oh yeah,
man.
most
Hey,
definitely.
so look, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the center stage, man, and I want you to go ahead and rock out, man. This is Big Mond.
Okay, so I'll start off like I was walking downtown, right? And man, I saw this chick and I was like, whoo, I had to get her before I leave. So man, I walked to her and I approached her and I was like, hey gorgeous, what's your name? As I'm approaching this pretty young thing, she said, my name is Kara Tyler, but you call me CT today. And I'm like, okay. They call me Big Mom. I'm from a place that's not fun where they gang bang carry guns and all the older generations. Yeah, they worked on a farm. She
Mm.
just said, it's getting kind of late. I kind of need a place to stay. And I know this kind of strange, but can I spend the night at your place? In my head, I'm like, this girl don't know me from a can of paint, but her ass fatter than pound cake, slim, thick, pretty waist. I can't let this slip away. So I'm like, okay, you come to my place, but don't be acting weird and say your location up because I don't need nobody putting no wale. And she was like, I'm bored. Can we go by the lake? And I was like, okay, let me just make sure it's somewhere safe. So we pull up at the front of the lake where you can see the moonlight rays and stars from different ways. So we get to talking, and she was like, I got a confession to make. I was touched at a very young age, so my sex drive get high when a sexy man come my way. In my head, I'm like, as I'm the sexy man, is that's what you claim? Because when I look up in your eyes, I can see the beauty, the hurt, and the pain. We locked eyes then. Seconds we locked lips. I still had to keep his hand on his 40 on my hip. So we got the kissing. So I took it a little higher, grip her booty and watch her nipples get hard. She said, it's getting hotter. Maybe we should go to your place and finish what we started. Doing 80 on the E-way while she played with my Mr. Johnson. She kissed the tip and said, you are mine, so we got home and comfortable. So we pull up in the driveway, hop out. I told her, welcome to my place. She said, oh, I like it. I hope it's nice inside, babe. I unlocked the door. I told her, welcome to my place. She said, ooh, boy, stop playing. I hope you can handle this ride, babe. So the clothes get the flying off like we was in a high place. Clothes get the flying off like we was in a high place. I look in the dresser. I look in the dresser. Damn. I'm out of protection. She was like Caratala like a raw her way. So I was hitting her from the back while she was screaming my name. I was hitting her from the back while she was screaming my name. 30 minutes later is when my cum was writing my name. I had my signature on her head so she'd never forget my name. I want to get her a hot towel since it was in my place because I'm a gentleman. I come back, her head was dropped. I'm like, I just gave you the best 30 minutes of my life. Are you okay? She was like, yes, I'm okay. No ordinary haha. This shit sounded like a spirit. She said, you just got CT. I hope you can clear it. Probably burn where you pee and probably a yellow discharge for your penis. Also, my name is not Kerry Tyler. I'm chlamydia trachomatis. Big Mond. And that's the point.
That was fire. That was fire. Hold on, let me get some hold on, that was fire. Let me get some sound effects in here, man. Cause usually I'm on point, but look, let's get this in real quick cause you deserve all. That was fire. That was fire, man. One more time, man. Y'all have to give it up, man. Come on. Give it up. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man, that was fire. No, but that is needed. Because there's
That's
so
what
many men that be in that situation and be like, man, this girl fire. She want to come home, and you don't even know what she got, you know. And we take that chance. A lot of men will take that chance because she got a fine figure, she's beautiful, she smell good. We think like shit, everything on up and up. But but they know what's going on. And see, that's the messed up part about it. They know.
facts.
And then we just slip into it. The next thing we know, like you said, we burning pee, all this other stuff, and and it's like, I hope you can get rid of it. But it's so many men we gamble with that. We gamble with
And
that.
yes,
With you saying that you looking for protection, you found out you ain't had no more protection. But and a lot of us, like you said in your poem, shit, we're like, fuck it, let's go ahead and get to it, and we'll take that chance, not knowing that that's a deadly chance that we taking. So,
facts.
my question for you: what inspired you to write that piece?
Man, um, I'm a talking code, but the situation happened with a person. We was cool for a while and everything, and I'm gonna just be honest. I had a significant other.
Mm-hmm.
We was together and everything, and she ended up having that situation with ex, but she thought, that was clear. She was cleared from it, and then
Mm-hmm.
when she got her annual, she still had it, and
Mm-hmm.
she didn't know until it was too late. Like somehow it came back. I don't know how the situation happened, but it came back, and didn't know until it was too late. And so it was one of those situations where at the time I was using protection, but with oil and all this stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
so I still got exposed to it, and so they treated me as in like you still had to, go through the
Right.
proper procedure, like you had it and everything. And so when I wrote it, it was one of those first time going through a situation. Reminds you, I'm like 22, 23. and it's just like out of the blue. And I know if I tell the story, everybody gonna claim that she was cheating. And I had a slam coming up, and I was like, "Fuck it, I gotta turn it to a poem. I gotta get
Right,
my feelings out somehow."
right,
And
right.
boom, CT. And the
Mm,
thing that was inspired because when you got checked, I just saw it had CT, and I was like, "What is CT?" And then on the side is a chlamydia trachomatis, and
mm,
I just turned CT into a name, and then
mm.
boom.
Okay,
So yeah.
okay. That's fine, Like, look, that's what I say. Like, when we go through real experience in life, that makes some of the best poetry that we ever wrote. Because we lived through that. And sometimes, like you say, you just got to get it out. You have to express that. And like with me, I don't know with anybody else. Like, poetry became my escape. I used to have so much stuff bottled up in me that I had to get out, but I had no one to talk to, no one. But when I start writing and just releasing everything, all the emotion I had on that pen and paper, like I felt like a burden was lifted off of me. So when my question is to you, when you write, what type of feeling, emotion that it gives to you?
Um, a sign of relief,
Mm,
especially when I write in a moment of my pain or whatever I'm going through. That's when I would create my best work because I actually can put my true feelings in the paper.
mm,
Instead of you give me a topic because you give me a topic or chance I can write on with no problem. But when I actually got something in my head and I'm going through something mentally and I can put it on paper, they be my best work. And then after I get done writing it, most times I don't read it. I just sit it down, take a breather, then I come back and read it, and I adjust it, and I'm like, okay, cool, I rock with it, and I be able to breathe because I finally got a chance to vent to somebody in this my the paper, my phone or whatever.
Do you have any poetry where you like it's personal only for me?
Um, not really.
Mm,
Certain poems I wrote, I probably haven't like presented it, to nobody, but I know I would one day if it was asked to be. But I have wrote poems to where I kept to myself, and then like it took a while for me to like even that poem like SCT. I didn't want to present it because I know that was a personal thing, and I didn't want to
mm.
hurt the person feelings or whatever. But like I said, I feel like that was one of those poems like that the world need to hear.
No, no, most definitely because a lot of men, not even just men, but women too as well, need to hear that. A million people need to hear that because that is something that goes on a day to day basis. We gamble with our life on a day to day
For
basis because we don't take the extra step to protect ourselves. And so, like even like with the younger generation coming up, they need to hear that because this is real. This is not a game. This is real life. So like you wrote that poem for a reason. There was no mistakes about that poem that you wrote. You wrote it for a reason, and when that get out to the masses, when millions of people hear that poem, it's gonna touch a lot of people.
man, shit, man. And that's my thing, man. But I do have pieces where, yeah, they haven't made it nowhere else. Like yeah, I got a few, like two or three that ain't made it outside the phone yet. So,
Okay, okay. So look,
but
who do you write for? Do you write for yourself or do you write for the people, or is it like a mixture?
to be completely honest with you, bro, I write for the people. Like
Mm,
I write, um, I write for the people, and the reason why I say that because when it comes to poetry, don't get me wrong, I enjoy doing it, but I feel like I write poetry, so like I said, I'm the voice of the crowd. I just really write for people to be able to just feel like they're not alone,
mm,
and to entertain. Like it's fun writing poetry, especially like me being the guy I am. I'm a lover boy. I'm the teddy bear. So I like writing poetry. Women can just listen and be like, damn, that was so sweet. That was so cute. But I also like writing stuff for people to be like, damn, I need to go reconsider life real quick. Like he made me think about some stuff.
Look,
So
and I like poetry that made me think. I'm like, that's fire, or some knowledge, or I like. There's so many different ways of spitting poetry. You have people that's comedians, comedian poets, love poets, exotic poems, and stuff like that. There's so many genres of poetry that like it that is insane. That but a lot of people don't even know that. They look at poetry like I had talked to this one lady today, and I'm like, "Are you a fan of poetry?" Like, it's all right, it's cool. And I'm like, "What do poetry sound to you?" And she was like, "Well, the poetry that I hear is like roses are red, violets are blue, the skies is orange, and I watch porn, and some crazy mess like that." But I'm like, nah, poetry is a little bit different. Uh, there's different rhyme schemes and patterns and different flows and stuff like that. So I say poetry really involved, but it's crazy that a lot of people are really not tapped into what poetry really is.
not at all.
So
And
do
that's the
go ahead, go off.
Oh no, and that's the thing. Like what I'm trying to do, and like that's why I was like honored to join the community because that's something I want to start doing, writing more poetry so people can it can draw more people in because like
Hmm.
seriously, a lot of people just don't understand how entertaining poetry can actually be. You
Hmm.
know, a lot of people they got so used to like little things, what they think poetry is from like old movies. Oh, excuse
Hmm.
me, from like old movies and stuff like that. I'm like, nah, we're in a whole different time zone where you can make poetry very realistic, very lovey dovey, very sexual. Like however you want to take it, you can do it. So yeah,
I mean, you know what? I wrote my first like erotic piece. But people say it's not erotic, it's more like explicit, whatever. But I'm like, my style of poetry is a little bit different. I like, rhyme scheme, double, triple entendre. I like the art of it. And when I hear erotic poetry, I'm like, it's kind of like it's really no creativity to it. It's like porn. A lot of poetry that I hear that's in that genre. It's like it's porn. You're talking. It's like, and I'm like, what is the art form in it? And I feel like poetry used to display your pen. So, like, what do you think about that? Do you feel like poetry, like, because you have some people that write stories, then you have some people that with great pens. Like, what is your balance in it?
so with me, um, you know, I like creativity when it comes to poetry. So like, you know, okay, so anybody can write about sex,
Right.
that because all of us human we do it, blah blah blah,
Mhm.
and shit. Even if you don't do it, you got everything almost on TV to show you what it is.
Right.
But can you turn a poem about a damn water park and make it something positive? Can you
Right.
turn a poem about Zeus and make it funny. Like
Right.
stuff that's what I be wanting to see. Like even like hearing True Poet, like he did a love poem off Super Mario. Like shit like
Mm.
that. That's what I like to hear. The creativity of turning something that nobody will think about and making it relatable to real life. That's what
Hmm.
I enjoy poetry. You
Look,
know,
and
with
that's the
the
art form. That's the art form that I be talking about. You like because when I hear poetry, I want to say, okay, that person sat down and really thought about that. And it's some poetry that I hear that's like, you just that sound like you just came up with anything. So look, here's another question that I have to ask you. How long does it take for you to write a piece?
Not even trying to brag or nothing. If it's a topic that I could write on, it'll take me about 5 to 10 minutes.
Mm,
But if it's something that I gotta be deep with, I'm gonna say 30 minutes to an hour.
mm,
But if it's something that I gotta like got some points to make, I probably will write because I write different. I write in punchlines.
okay.
So I can my punchlines is something that it hit me while I'm at work, while I'm driving, and I freestyle it and do the punchline. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna add that one, and I'll try to hit type it to my notes or do a voice recording or whatever. And after I get those certain amount of punchlines, I'll write around the punchlines. But
Okay.
if you give me a topic and just tell me to write on it, and it's something that I can understand and relate on, if you give me about 10 to 20 minutes, I can create a poem out of it.
That's fire. That's fire. So, I mean, how many poems do you have in your arsenal that you can spit at any moment?
Um, that I have in my arsenal that I can spit any moment. I don't say up to 10 that I
Mm,
know like some good ones that would hit. Just on my phone. Memorization, I'm gonna be honest, I only got two.
mm,
So SCT is one. But I'm still trying to get better with memorization because I write a lot. But like in my arsenal in general, I think I got up to 90 poems.
mm,
But I got 10 that that I can click on and it'll be a hit. And also depend on the setting because like I start out doing church poetry, so we can switch to church poetry. Boom, I got you. If we're doing all styles or lovey dovey, it's like in category.
mhm. Man, that's how
So
I started out with church. Like I told you, like my first poem was about church, and plus I was a gospel artist. I did gospel rap for a while. People that know me, Young Disciple, YD, back in the streets. But I did gospel rap for a minute, and you know, I just love the realness of it. And that really got me more into poetry because of the realness. It wasn't no fake facade to it or anything like that. And I think, that kind of ushered me into doing, poetry, full time. So like rapping, it was cool, but it was kind of like, yeah, whatever. But poetry, it came from the heart. So,
facts.
but let me switch the temperature real quick. Let me switch the temperature. Poetry Life League. Mm, Poetry Life League. So when you heard about Poetry Life League, what did you think?
I ain't know. I'm being. I ain't know what the hell it was. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be. It was one of those things
Hey, keep it a
where,
dollar. Keep it a dollar.
yeah, and that's who Big One is. I'm gonna be honest about everything. And but what made me know that it was some positive and was something good because True Poet, he tagged me into it, and
Hmm.
I'm one of those people that he don't when he kind of invite me to an event, it'd be shocking. It'd be an honor first, but it'd just be like, wait a minute, what I'm doing here, But
Right.
when he invited me to it, it kind of gave me a mindset of, great chance I'm gonna be in a realm where I gotta compete. I gotta go against people, and
Hmm.
so I'm like a league. Like, is that serious? Like, people actually got a league out here,
Look, look,
and
look, it's for real.
yeah, and it was just like interesting. Then when I was seeing the post and everything, I was just like, so is this a huge slam or what is it? And then when I started, getting the info and started chopping it up with you and stuff, I was like, oh wow, so it's actually a community that's being built for poets.
Hmm.
So they're gonna perform and just go off, be judged, but it's also a networking thing. And I was like, oh
Hmm.
shit. I need to be writing more anyway. So I
and,
rock
and
with it.
this and that's what it's about. It's about connecting poets from all across United States. It's about cross branding. Like you in Arkansas, you when you go against Lady Crucible, she's in Chicago. You know, they y'all both gonna be promoting. She gonna get her people involved. You gonna get your people involved to tune in and stuff like that. But now you bringing your poetry to Chicago, and she bringing her poetry to Arkansas. So
Facts.
it's a mixture of what you're doing. So the cross branding is great, and also y'all branding yourself as poets. Y'all creating merch for yourself and stuff like that, and putting yourself out there, and and delivering at a high level. Because at the end of the day, when you're going against someone, you got to be at your best. You know,
Most
so
definitely.
and that's good for yourself because when you go on stage, you been in, you done had like 6 matches where okay, my scores is this, my scores is that. Okay, I need to pick this up. So when that builds you up, and when you go on stage, you be like, okay, I can give them this energy now. So it helps all across the board. So poetry life, the draft, it's next week. Well, no, it's not. It's this Saturday. Look, I'm a week behind. It's this Saturday. So you have the bold words, you have the red dragons, you have diagnosis, you have living legends. Which of those teams sound appealing to you?
I don't know to you. I think. Oh no. I think I kind of wrote a red dragon.
The red dragons. And
I
and
got
they slogan is they spit fire. They red dragon because they spit fire. I was like, oh yeah, I like that. That's fire.
yeah.
So but like,
I
look,
kind of like
man,
red.
look, we have the jerseys. And look, it's gonna be magnificent. We're gonna have look, what I have for y'all is gonna be amazing. The merch and everything that's set up for y'all, and it's like it's next level. It's next level. And I just can't wait because this is just year one. This season one. I just can imagine what season two might bring.
Oh
You know.
man, it's gonna be
So well look,
fun.
my question is to you. You going against 24 poets or 23 poets. How do you condition yourself for those many matches and those different style classes that you may go against?
Man, you just gotta find like right now. You probably can't see it, but my phone
Okay.
is set into a poetry mode where I take time out to an hour or two to write or tweak
Mm.
stuff, and so that's what I'm at to start doing. You know, go into my stuff, tweet, um, write some poets, especially if you know the poet or you kind of got a little info on their style or whatever. Your study. Just like sports, you go
Mm-hmm.
watch film. So go watch
Mm.
film. Go practice and shit. Go head up. So that's all I'm gonna be about. You win, lose, draw. You just go head up with it. So
Hey. So look, so on your team, you will have 5 other poets, with 6 including yourself. How important is to have like to represent your team when you're going against another team?
man, it's very important, because you got to realize that, you know, if one win, we all win. If one fall, we all fall. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to realize that you can't be in a situation where you thinking about yourself or you being selfish because you got people that's standing behind you now. And so
Mm-hmm.
you got to cheer each other on. You got to motivate each other because it's a team for a reason. For y'all to work together and make the stuff happen. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's gonna be very important because even though you doing these battles or whatever, but it's still that hey, we gotta lock in together, and I gotta hype you up and be your loudest cheerleader because I represent you, you represent me because
Mm-hmm.
we're a team now.
That's
So
a
it's gonna
fact.
be very important.
Because like
So yeah,
because let's say if someone on your team and they averaging like 2 points per category. Now the highest you can score in a category is 5, but they averaging 2 on delivery. They averaging 2 on believability. They averaging 2 on substance. As a team, how do y'all handle that as a team? Like, do you tell hey man, let's work together and see if we can bring those numbers up because we got to win as a team.
most definitely. Whoever, if they low it, penmanship, delivery, whatever, whoever that's higher in that, okay,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I need you to step down to help him,
Mm-hmm.
figure that out, figure out how you can fix it or better himself. And one
Mm-hmm.
other person is better at the other one. Okay, let's step
Mm-hmm.
down to make sure we can try to figure out a way to better that category. It's just all working with each other, but also at the end of the day, to be totally honest, like when I do workshops and everything, you only can teach so
Mm-hmm.
much when it comes to poetry because
Right.
poetry is your style, it's your way of venting and writing. So, even if they don't catch on, it's just the fact that you tried to help out to
Mm-hmm.
boost it and just shows it was teamwork, all above, but it's all poetry, it's all just promoting and getting yourself out there more. So, you know, be a team, but if it don't happen, don't be too deep in your feelings about it.
So
So
let's
yeah.
get on the judging. On the judging, since we on that, there's 5 categories: um, penmanship, impact, believability, substance, and delivery. So with these 4 judges, it's gonna be 4 judges judging you when you go into this match. How would you take their critiques about your poetry? Because Erica Badu say, we sensitive about our ish. So with these judges, they telling you like, look, uh, I'm giving you this, I'm giving you that, and they giving you feedback. How do you handle the feedback?
First off, when it comes to with me being a slam poet, you get judged by 5 random people.
Mm-hmm.
So with these people that's judges, you got a great chance they got put to be a judge for a reason. Great
Mm-hmm.
chance they, know the arts pretty well or they do the arts or something like that. So, also you gotta understand that they not doing it to tell you you're doing bad or whatever. It's more of they just trying to find ways to better you. So if I know with me, um, I sometimes have issues with pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
So if a judge tell me like, slow down and pronounce your words better, cool. Whatever the case may be, you gotta understand to take it and use it to your advantage. Don't
Right.
always get in your feelings about it or feel like, dang, they trying to say this because of this, blah blah blah. Because hey, you do get sense because I can honestly say when it came to slamming with me, I was very
Mm-hmm.
sensitive. So I'm like, damn, I just did the hardest poem I thought I had, and I got a fucking 6. Like,
Right. Right.
but it's just
My first poetry slam, I got a 3. They gave me a 3 out of 10. I'm like, are you kidding me? A 3? Oh,
I never got done that bad, but I seen a person, man, legend in Little Rock got a 2, and I said, damn, like,
look,
but
it be
yeah, but
tough. It be tough.
it be tough, but there's 5 random judges that was picked from the crowd, so you don't
Mhm.
know if they got their family in the competition, or whatever. But with these
Right,
judges,
right.
great chance they know arts pretty well to actually critique, give you more feedback and information, and you just
Mhm.
gotta take it like, hey, okay, either you're gonna take it and listen, or you're gonna take it and just let it flow by your ear. So
Right.
it just depends on that person.
Look, man, but man, we get to the end of the show, man. Look, I appreciate you stepping on here and giving a little bit about yourself and talking about a little bit of poetry. Um Look, I got one more question to ask you. 23 matches. 23 matches you going to go against in the playoffs. 16 poets gonna make it to the playoffs. So there's 24 poets. Only 16 gonna make it to the playoffs. You think you're gonna be one of them 16?
Man, I'm gonna be one of them 16.
Mm.
Oh, I'm
Talk
gonna be one.
heavy. Talk
I'm gonna be
heavy.
one, man, and I'm being humble, but man, you know I'm a writer, so it's just one of those things. So if it's meant for me, it's meant for me. I
Cause
know.
look, I'm gonna tell you, the playoffs is a little bit different. The playoffs are a little bit different because it's a bracket. 8 poets on one side, another 8 on the other side, and this in the playoffs it's gonna be weekly challenges. Like each week is gonna be something different, but each week 4 poets gonna be dropped off from the rate from the section. So it's gonna have prompts and it's gonna have writing ability and stuff like that. So it's different areas. The playoffs is a little bit tougher than the season, but and then also if I give you a prompt, you only got 1 week to write about that prompt. Not only if you got 1 week to write about that prompt, you got 1 week to really try to perfect it before you can perform it on the highest stage. So with that being said, if I gave you a prompt like, look, just say your prompt is yellow skies. You have 1 week to write about yellow skies. And you also have 1 week to try to perform it and memorize it the best you can, even if you reading it. Because in this league, I did say you can read off your phone, read off your paper, but you have to make it a way where you're just not reading off your paper like this. You're gonna have to, look up into the camera, get some interaction, and look back down, if for you. So you're gonna have to master, But you know what? I ain't gonna hold you. I think that's a little bit harder than you memorizing it and saying it, Because for you just to read it and look up and read it, like I know I would mess up.
It
So,
would be, because you'll look up, and that's one thing that I'm learning myself. Even if you read, you still got to perform it. So,
mhm,
even with you looking up and trying to look back, sometimes you'll lose track of how you reading it, and
mhm,
now that just gave you a point,
mhm.
because you
And see,
did a
and
dramatic pause.
look, and that can hurt you in a match because that's part of the delivery. And that's why I'm saying like you can have the best poem and still lose
First,
because there's
and
different
man,
aspects of poetry that different categories that you got to hit. And just say your poem was fire, but you just kept on messing up on the delivery or the believability when there. The poem was great, but we really didn't believe it. You didn't make us believe it. So there's different aspects of it that you might have the hottest poem, but there's certain areas that you might lack in and that cause you to get that L.
but that's what's gonna challenge us as poets, though.
Hmm.
It's gonna teach us how to break down what we do and actually fix on each piece. So it's gonna help us rewriting and to get prepared for the big stage. So
Right.
I feel like it's gonna be something that it's gonna be more of a learning lesson than a challenge or competition.
No,
Um,
that is a
and so
fact.
yeah, that's why I'm just like it's gonna be people gotta understand it's gonna really be a benefit to us because it's gonna be teaching us advanced way of writing. So um, I'm here for it, man. And so even with a situation like that, I said I'm a writer, so I just have to get on my stuff. And my thing is, I probably can write it. It's just me performing it. I had to get that down. But hey,
Look,
that's what it is.
look, you got it. Hey, this is the work. This is what the season is for. The season is for you to work on things that you need to work on, and also learn what you need to improve. So it's all right that you mess up and stuff like that, but it's we all learn it. Like we have some French poets that only performed twice in their whole time doing poetry. You have some newbies they ain't never really performed, so they learning off of everybody that have experience. So, and that's what's the great thing about it. It's a learning experience that everybody gonna go through. So, that's the great thing about it. But also, before we get up off the stage, I gotta know why you pick the number 72 to represent you in the league. Number 72.
My favorite number is actually 24. I think somebody
Okay.
already had it.
Yeah.
And 72. Since we were saying the league, when I played football, that was my jersey number. And I was just like, I never really used 72 for real. I was like, let me just use my jersey. Because I kept thinking of another number that I actually right. 24 is my favorite number. 24 and 5.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I was like 72.
Number 5, Jason Kidd, number 5. Hey, look, some numbers are significant to my memory, especially in sports. 72. Who had the number 72 in sports? 72.
No, I think he was 89. Dang.
Well, I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to do some research. I'm gonna have to do some research on that, man. But man, look, I appreciate you coming on a platform, and everything like that. Look, let me turn it down a little bit loud, man. But I appreciate you jumping on here, man, and doing this interview with me. Hey, it's Poetry Life League. Saturday, June 12th. It's the draft, 7:00 Central Time. Tune in, big money in the building. Man, let me go ahead and give you center stage and tell the people who you are, where you from, and where they can find you at.
Hey, it's your boy Big Mond, Palm Bluff, Arkansas, but most of my work is in Little Rock. You can find me on Facebook, Shamond Johnson, SHAMOND Johnson. Follow me on Instagram, big_Mond24. And follow me on Instagram again at my poetry show. Who gonna drop the mic? WGDTM25. And hey, add me, man. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, man. That was Big Mond, man. Shout out to Big Mond for jumping on the platform. Y'all can find him in Poetry Life League. His first match is July 12th. His first match, he's going against Poet Without Apology. So a Poet Without Apology, if you tuning in, hey, watch out for Big Mond. He's here. Your first match, July 12th. It's going down. Poetry Life League. Hey, man, y'all got to represent, man. Look at the merch. We got the merch, Poetry Life League. I see what's behind us. It's the new movement. We the new culture. Until then, man, Saturday, y'all pull up for our weekly podcast show. It's strictly poetry. All poetry. That's all we know. And again, look, hold on. Let me pull this up real quick because y'all keep playing with me, man. Look, y'all keep playing with me. Go subscribe to the channel. YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. Poetry Life League. Let's get these subscribers up. The subscribers. Where y'all at? It's Poetry Life. We out. Y'all already know the vibes. Let's cook.
Get the money with you or with your not. Get the broken with it with the pop. Your corn, are you dressed up in the stock? Left everybody went straight up